First of all, quick word on Alula. It wasn't their fault, a collision they had earlier on. They were hit by Drogba, weren't they, into the last corner. So they're out of action, and we send them our best wishes. What a shame. So that means now we just have 4 boats remaining in the final. We remind you, this is not for championship points, but this is for your all-important lane position for the main final here at Lago Maggiore later on today. They're counting down. You'll see a yellow flag go up. There it is from the flag marshal's boat. They're coming to the line. Hopefully they won't jump the start. That's why they're slowing, look, and that did not work out particularly well for Rafa, who have to back off, but at least they didn't jump the start. And that is Emma Kimmerleinen diving up the inside for Brady. Westbrook, the red boat on the outside, running a little bit wide in the background was Sarah Mizir.
And that is exactly what we were talking about, is how crucial it is to get that start right. It's an art to get it right. Westbrook just having to, Westbrook flying actually into the order, up the order, and Rafa having to lift off, and they lost all of that gain they had before.
They certainly did. 6 laps here. They are obliged to take 1 longer version of the lap and 1 short lap, but not on the opening tour. As we look from right to left, how close is that going to be there? Brady on the inside, your reigning champions. They've gone for their longest win drought of 4 GPs with no victory at the end of last season and the beginning of this. And through goes Chris Lazaraga in the background up to 3rd.
Look at this battle for the lead, Greg!
Really touched there.
Team Westbrook and Lucas Ordóñez getting the better of them, but Emma Kimmerleinen is not going to give this one up. They are going almost nose to bumper. Look at that round, that taking as much speed around that corner, both looking pretty nice on the foils as it stands, and you can't really separate them. They're right bow to bow, Greg.
This is absolutely fantastic stuff here at Lago Maggiore in E1.
And Brady to the short lap.
Short lap goes Brady. So you do gain about 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds. They're thinking, get me out of the chaos. Emma Kimmerleinen does that, and now in the meantime, Lucas Ordóñez there with the red boat doing the standard lap, also doing a short lap of the other 2, look. So that drops, that's going to be interesting now. That drops Lucas Ordóñez right into the wake of Rafa and also Team Blue Rising. So tactically, is this going to backfire, I wonder?
I think there's a good chance it might, but in the meantime, Emma Kimmerleinen out in front has done that exceptionally well, because crucially, Greg, clean water, no boats in front, nothing to interrupt that flow and balance and speed, and now she can push on, make a big enough gap that when she does take that long lap, she doesn't lose any position.
So Westbrook, look, taking the long lap. They're thinking, we do not want to lose this ground now. Having not done the short lap, they drop down to 4th in the wake of those other 2 boats in front of them. So Westbrook doing the long lap. As you saw there, you lose approximately 10 seconds, sometimes 11, depending on how quickly you get into there and how quickly you get back out again. So we are into lap 3, halfway through at the end of this lap, and I'm looking at our information here in the commentary box, and the leaders, I can tell you, have not yet done their short lap. They've gone on, they have done the short lap, but we're going to find out if they're going to do the long lap on this particular tour. We're looking down on Rafa there, the orange boat in 2nd position. Now, this is going to be interesting. They still have their short and long laps still to do. So that lead for Brady is not as large as it looks, because they've done a short lap. Rafa have not.
The spotter now for Team Brady will be saying, I'm not sure there's a big enough lead now to take this long lap. So maybe it's about pushing a bit harder, trying to make that gap big enough so you don't lose a position when you do take the long lap. And if actually, looking on the screen now, it says 2 laps.
Yes.
2 long laps remaining. So potentially a penalty for potentially like a start, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I agree with you. It looks as though Brady may have a penalty here, because you can see on the graphics at the top of the screen, they've got 2 long laps to do. So is it a jump start penalty, we wonder? In the meantime, they're chopping and changing in the background. Look at Westbrook coming across, because Blue Rising now have done their long lap. So question marks hovering over Brady. We have 3 laps to go, and on 2 of them, they need to take long laps. So this is going to close things up, Saunders.
Team Rafa and Team Westbrook both still to take their short lap, though, which means that crucially they can get 6 seconds back off their competitors who have already taken the long lap. So this is where the strategy really comes into it, making sure you use the short lap when it's most beneficial and you use the long lap when you lose the least amount of time.
Well, look at this. We've got not 1, not 2, but 3 penalties as Westbrook now do their short lap. But we've got the boat currently in the lead, 3rd and 4th, all needing to do a 2nd long lap, all for jumping the start.
That's great for Team Westbrook. They've done all of their long and short laps now. Strategy looking really good, because they managed to get ahead of Christine Lazaraga in the Rafa, just with still a short lap and another long lap to do. So this is looking very good for Team Westbrook, especially if they can close the gap on Team Brady that have just done their one of two long laps.
There they are. Will Smith, Team Westbrook Racing, are looking to secure their first victory of the season. They failed to make this final at Dubrovnik in Croatia last time out. There's Blue Rising going around their long lap, as are Rafa. So like you say, Saunders, this is looking really good now. Will Smith's going to be jumping up and down with glee as he watches this, because we're coming through to the penultimate lap. Here's Brady. We're looking back from Brady at Westbrook there, and Westbrook will now be going across the standard lap. They've done their long lap, they've done their short lap, but that boat at the bottom of your screen, just going out of the shot, has one more long lap to do. This is going to be so tight. Emma will know that, of course, won't she? So she needs to put the hammer down to see if she can somehow just increase that gap, to somehow keep this lead, but it's not looking very good. It's looking extremely good, though, for Westbrook.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've really called this strategy very well indeed. And a reminder about what this race means. This is setting the lane positions for the all-important final, where those massive points are up for grabs.
They also have a button they can push on the steering wheel to give them a boost. You can see when they're applying the boost because it flashes up green at the top of your screen. So this is your leader. That is not the long lap, because the long lap is delineated by green smart marks on the outside. They're called smart marks, those boys, because they are not anchored to the lake bed. They work on GPS. They're much more environmentally friendly. Don't damage the lake bed. But look, this is what we need to focus on. The long lap, on average, increases your lap time by 10.7 seconds. Hold on to your seats, because we're coming through to the last lap, and judging that, Westbrook will have about a 2-second lead, won't they?
Yeah, currently, as it stands, there isn't a 10-second gap between the two. It's about 8 seconds currently, although we have seen, based on setup, based on how much speed they can take through these turns, sometimes it is slightly less than 10 seconds. So let's see what happens. This could be very, very close, Greg.
This certainly will be very, very close, because the gap's going up as we talk to you. It's gone up to 8 points. Look, 9.8 now. They're going to be absolutely side by side if the timing system is anything to go by. So Brady, for the jump start, have to take a second long lap. There they are with the Finnish pilot Emme Kimalainen at the helm. Lucas Ordonez, the Spanish racing driver, he'll now peel off left between the red and green smart marks. Brady on the outside. Look for the red boat. Here it comes. How tight is this going to be?
We're looking for a perfect exit and entry. It's going to be very tight. As Team Westbrook come round, do they do it? No! Brady, stay in front!
Wow, that was phenomenal stuff, and the confidence that Emma demonstrated there was phenomenal. It's not over yet, but as long as Kimalainen can get through these last two corners without any issues, she should be okay. Keep an eye on the boost as well. No, Lucas has fallen too far behind. He had to take evasive action. He lost momentum. No championship points available for this, but lane position for final two later on. Emme Kimalainen, listen to the delight from the Finnish pilot. Wow, what a moment that was at the merge point.
It really was, and following up what we've seen pretty much all day, Greg, is Team Brady just looking incredibly strong today, wherever is thrown up against them. Long lap penalties, wake, doesn't matter. They seem to just be able to come out on top every time.
And that's why they are the reigning E1 champions of 2024. Rafa's team have come home in third place, and Blue Rising there crossed the line in fourth. And once again, a shout out to everyone at Team Alula with problems, having been hit by Team Drogba in one of the earlier races in the race-off, so they're unable, I'm afraid, to take part in the final. But wow, that was spectacular, wasn't it?